Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. What's that for today's video? Beer's courtesy of Ross. Thanks so much, Ross. I really appreciate it. Really excited for this one. So it's a Revolution Cuvée de Grâce. It's a barrel-aged ale, and basically it's a cuvée. I want to say it's like 24 different barrels they're using. Stouts, barley wines, maybe even some other stuff. So like it is definitely a cuvée of cuvées, you know, like this is this is pretty epic. 14.6% ABV. At time of review, it is 4 months old, and let's read the side here. Standing before the multitudes of meticulously stacked barrels in our brewery tap room may rightly give one a sense of order, of place, of purpose, of fastidious intentions being slowly and silently realized. It's said that nature, however, prefers chaos. Cuvée de Grâce seeks to create a cohesive, balanced beer from some of the most disparate and unique barrels at our disposal. Never to be recreated, each blend is a celebration of our most cherished traditions as brewers. I'm going to put an exclamation point that was not there on it. I'm so excited. 12-ounce can, I like that, given the ABV. It's a dark cola color as you're pouring it out, for sure. And it makes sense because, again, it does have some, big, fudgy kind of stouts in there, but then there's also maybe something, well, not maybe, there are some things like barley wines which could lighten, or not, be more assertive, that will lighten it up. Once it's in the glass, it is a black color, but again, you can see, maybe it's coming up on camera, maybe it's not, some brown in there. So yeah, not motor oil, but pretty darn black. But yeah, definitely a little bit of brown fighting through. The head, barely any. It is a light, it's somewhere between khaki and mocha. So it's like a light mocha or a dark khaki. But yeah, definitely looks like what it is. Let's get the aroma. It smells more barley wine than stout, but there is a nice roastiness in there. I mean, you're getting figs, raisins, dates. You're getting some nice chocolate. You're getting, what was that one thing? Man, a nice kiss of cherry. Molasses, caramel. I mean, yeah, this is one of those reviews where it could be an hour of me just telling you every single thing I'm smelling. Toasted marshmallow. Generic barrel-aged spirit. It's not peaty. Like, there's definitely things it's not, but like I couldn't tell you bourbon specific or whiskey specific or I'm not getting, I'm sure there's some rye barrel aged stuff. I'm not getting rye necessarily. Nice sweetness without being confectionery. I think some of the base stout that's in this is really anchoring because there's so much sweetness going on. But I think that's helping keep it from being like overly sweet or cloyingly sweet. Some grape, like you'd almost think like a quadruple, like a Belgian quad. Man, I mean I'm not exaggerating. I think maybe I am exaggerating saying a full hour, but like I'm gonna move on with the review. But I think I could keep smelling it and telling you other things. Like it's unreal. Let's get into the glass. Cheers. Thanks again, Ross. I really appreciate it, man. I had to look over here because I got a little pile of best beers I've had 2021. And I already have one of their beers. I think it's going to stay this one, the double barrel V.S.O.J. Only because that was a hair more cohesive. Being a cuvée, This has so much deliciousness going on. There's so much stuff I love about this beer. But the only thing I could knock it for, and then give credit to that beer, is that it drinks like a cuvee of a bunch of different stuff, you know? So like if it was a little bit more, you know, if you have, I don't know, 10,000 good ideas, but they're all mixed together, that might not be better than just one good idea on its own, if that makes sense. That being said, I'm loving this beer, and again, like if I didn't already have a Revolution, I probably would pop this over on that shelf and keep it in consideration, because this is also blowing my mind. For me, like the aroma, it's leading barley wine, but there is a nice stout roastiness that is, again, helping cut through some of the sweetness. Everything I mentioned the aroma, I'll try not to repeat myself too much. Everything I mentioned the aroma in the glass. In addition to that, I don't think I said brown sugar. Definitely nice brown sugar in this. I mentioned marshmallow. I'm getting nice vanilla in this. This happened in another beer I had recently that had vanilla, where it's kind of like this sweet confectionery, almost like powdered sugar on your tongue, with a nice vanilla tinge to it. I mean, it's still there as I'm talking. I haven't had a sip in a bit as I'm still talking. This night, and I don't know if any of the barrels that they blended had vanilla, if that's all vanillin from the barrels, but like that, oh my God. All those fruits, and you're getting, because you get fruits, you can in stouts, certainly barley wines, and again, like that quad thing, like that the grape juice, the grape. So you're getting so much fruit, not like in an IPA way, but like all these kinds of fruits you associate with these styles, I should say, to speak a little bit more clearly. I mean, probably every one I've ever gotten individually in a beer, it's all there and it's working. Maybe that analogy earlier wasn't good, because this beer does work. But again, it does. It might take my beer review card. This beer is super complex. Like, you have to use that word. You have to. Complexity, I don't think it has to be mutually exclusive to cohesive. But again, I'm going to die on this hill that I love the complexity of this beer, and the only knock is, because of how complex it is, it can't get to a level of cohesiveness. Like, you know, it just, but it does work. It's very like seriously, I know I say this in, I think, almost every review. If you've had this beer, chime in. Like, I'm super curious what other people would say about this. You'd have to, just like the aroma, you could just keep going and going with what you taste in this beer. And if you can taste that many things, can you still call it cohesive? Like, it's not a mess. I don't know. It's just, it's like equal parts delicious and just mind-boggling. Like, I mean, like, really, like, legit trying to have my mind wrap around this beer and how to describe it the best way possible is really difficult, because it's just, it's so, it's hitting on all cylinders, and it's like 1,000 different cylinders. Wow. And again, like, just enough chocolate to keep some of that stoutness alive in what is a very bourbony. I'm getting more bourbon whiskey specific, unlike the aroma in the taste. But like, again, that chocolate, not too much roast, but like a little bit of chocolate, kind of bringing it back to stout territory. Kind of reminds me back when Goose Island was still doing the triple barrel. By the time that the Bourbon County barley wine was in the barrel, it had been in bourbon, had been or bourbon had been in the barrel, Bourbon County brand stout had been in the barrel, and then the barley wine had been in the barrel, and you could get some of that stout, the residual stoutness in there. It kind of reminds me of that, and I love that. I love that. I get why they don't do it anymore after 2015, but like this has notes of that, and I would hate. I love Firestone Walker. I love him so much, but like their anniversaries where they try to do blends of things, like those are good, but like it's never none of those. And I have some. I gotta start drinking these. Have touched this, and those aren't the exact. I'm not exactly comparing apples to apples. But this feels like a live stream. Like this just feels like I'm just talking more than beer reviewing. But like, I'm super curious. Seriously, if you've had this beer, comment below what you thought of it. Once I'm done recording, I'm definitely gonna go on the internet and see what other people said about this beer because like, I want more words. But anyway, man, Ross, thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it. I think it's clear how much I'm loving this beer and how much. The taste I'm loving, and also just the experience of drinking it, let alone trying to describe it in a beer review. Yeah, definitely a beer that warrants the contemplation, which is cool. So yeah, thanks again, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate that. Make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So always please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.